in towns. We also have mining functions, fishing, and residential functions. Now, because of the large influx of people into these towns, the town also serves as residential means for these people. Now we'll talk about a local government area, commonly known as the LG. A local government area is formed by a combination of several towns and villages which have similar physical and perhaps cultural features. We talk about the local government areas in Nigeria. We are considering the third tier of government, and it performs a combination of both functions of the town and that of the village. The map here shows various states that make Nigeria up and their capitals. Now the F and the solar system is what we will be considering now. And what is the solar system? The solar system is the gravitationally bound system which comprises of the sun and the objects that orbit it. These objects could be the planets and other objects like the dwarf planets. Now, there has been a controversy about the number of planets that we have in the world. In 1930, after the discovery of Pluto, a lot of us grew up learning about the 9 planets of our solar system. But this started changing in the late 1990s, when astronomers began to argue about whether Pluto was or was not a planet. But in 2006, it was unanimously agreed by the International Astronomical Union that Pluto is not a true planet but a dwarf planet. However, astronomers are now hunting for another planet in the solar system to make up a true 9th planet. And I think they are making progress. And according to January 20, 2016 discovery, and the so-called 9th planet, as stated by them, has the following features. It's about 10 times the mass of the Earth and 5 times the mass of Pluto. Now, this figure is a clear depiction of what the solar system looks like. You can see the sun at the far left and the various bodies or objects that revolve around it. We have Mercury, we have Venus, we have Mars, we have the Earth, we have Jupiter, down to the last body there. You can see their various sizes and their shapes. And each of these bodies are at different distances from the sun. Now, let's consider the sun. The sun is the center, in the center of the planets, and it is stationary while the planets move around it. That is to say that the sun is stationary, and then the other planets, the other objects, are the ones moving around it. And it is the largest star with a surface temperature of 6,000 degrees Celsius. And of course, the sun is the ultimate source of energy and light to all the planets. And take this as notes that stars appear actually in groups, not as we see them singly. And when they appear in group, they are known as collectively known as galaxies or nebulas. Now let's look at the various planets one after the other. Now let's look at each of these planets and their characteristics. Mercury. Mercury is the smallest and the hottest planet that we have. And of course, it is the hottest planet because it is the closest to the sun. No living organism survives in the Mercury, and it takes Mercury 88 days to complete an orbit, the shortest orbit round the sun. Now, Mercury has no satellite, and it has a diameter of 4,800 kilometers, and it is about 57,600,000 kilometers away from the sun. Now, Venus. Venus is the second closest planet to the sun. It also harbors no living organism, and it is often regarded as Earth twin. This is because of its many similarities with the Earth, such as the size and mass as well as density. Now, it takes Venus 225 days to make a complete revolution, and it also has no satellite. Venus also has a diameter of 12,300 kilometers, and it is about 1,200,000 kilometers away from the sun. Now, the Earth. The Earth is about the most important planet to us as living things because it supports the existence of living things. And it has one natural satellite, which is called the Moon. It takes the Earth 365.5 days to complete its orbit. The Earth has a diameter of 12,762 kilometers, and of course, it is about 148,800,000 kilometers far away from the sun. After the Earth, the next planet with a possibility to support life is the Mars. The Mars has 2 satellites, and it takes the Mars 687 days to complete its orbit. And the Mars has a diameter of 6,790 kilometers. It also has, or it's about 2,227,200,000 kilometers away from the sun. Jupiter. Jupiter is the largest planet in the solar system. It contains gases like hydrogen and methane and has 12 satellites. The diameter of Jupiter is 142,100 kilometers, and it takes Jupiter 11.9 years to complete its orbit around the sun. And the Jupiter is about 772,800,000 kilometers away from the sun. Now, Saturn. This is the second largest planet after Jupiter, and it has what we call rings. There are 3 of them, and Saturn has 9 satellites as well, and takes 29.5 years to complete its orbit, with a diameter of 119,700 kilometers. And Saturn is about 1,417,600,000 kilometers away from the Sun. Uranus, unlike other planets that we have, its orbit around the Sun is in the clockwise direction. That's from the east to the west. It has 5 satellites, and it is about 2,854,400,000 kilometers from the Sun, and it takes 84 years to complete its orbit and has a diameter of 51,000 kilometers. Now, Neptune. Neptune is very cool, and this is because of its distance away from the Sun. It is about the farthest